Oh my gosh, guys. Can you believe this is what they look like? Okay guys, so this is what we're working with right now. For design, this is what we're gonna do. So these bases, they're kind of bulky. I think I'm gonna cut up like that, cut across this way, and then cut down to make it look more modern. I'm gonna do the same with the big base, like the big dresser, and the same, of course, with the nightstand. Look at that beauty, working on that beauty next. Ouch, I forgot to mention, we do gotta address this cracked drawer, so we gotta fix it. We're gonna put some clamps and some wood glue and let that sit a little bit and fix that up. Okay guys, so we did get these clamps from Harbor Freight. Honestly, I just can't believe it. It's my first time using these, so we'll see how they go. I'm gonna use them to clamp that drawer and use some wood glue. Like the markers where I need to cut. So I got my little jigsaw. Well, I have my jigsaw. I need to plug in my jigsaw to make sure got this fully operated. And we're gonna start, just gonna send it.
The first cut's always the most intimidating, but once you get going, it's nice and smooth.
Kind of straight, I guess.
We got our first cut in, so the next step was just to actually cut across it, which is just the same exact thing. Just follow your same measurements, your same lines that you made, and you get it going.
Honestly, not too bad. Look how fancy this looks. Wow. All right, moment of truth. Let's see how accurate our freaking measurements are. Just gotta send it. Let's go.
This is the second nightstand, and you pretty much just repeat the same process. I like to cut on one side first, knock off that little part of it. That way I can actually put the blade in and cut across like I did here. And that way it gives me the space to actually cut across. It's the same exact thing. It can be intimidating, but as long as your measurements are okay, you should be perfectly fine. And you kind of just want to be as precise as possible. You can always knock off any little imperfections with the sanding. And you do the same exact thing here with the long part of the dresser on the bottom base, and just kind of do your best. Honestly, a lot of this can be fixed by sanding, but it's just knocking off that piece. That way we can give it that modern feel, that modern look, and you can clean up as you go like I did here and kind of just clean up.
What I'm gonna do is gonna sand this down to raw wood. I believe it's like redwood underneath, so it's gonna look really beautiful. I got some inspo from another piece, so I'm super excited to do it. Let's go. PPE, we're gonna go ahead and sand this down to raw wood and get this baby going. Let's go.
I honestly don't know why I did a Fast and Furious edit here. It reminded me of like a car taking off or something, but decided to do it. And right here, we're just sanding down the bases. That way we can get that raw exposed wood, because we're gonna end up tan washing this bottom part. So just doing the same thing on all sides there. That way we get a clean, even kind of coat there. Sanding the bottom base with the kind of fine finisher. Took a little nap, got tired, and then I got started here on the big dresser, doing the same exact thing. Trying your best to keep it as level as possible and just taking off that finish. That way you can get that raw exposed wood so you can tan wash it.
It's officially been 24 hours and this is what the clamps look like. Right, the clamps were holding this area here. Had like a slight little crack. We put wood glue and put the clamps down, so it's looking nice now. All right, now that I sanded the bases, they look really good. The nightstands are already done. So now we just gotta take off the hardware and then tape off, scuff sand, prime, paint, new handles, list. Almost there, let's get it. Handles are all gonna go in the good old handle drawer. I do know that I need to fix my lighting in my garage. I'm putting in new lighting. It's gonna be freaking bright as crap in here. But right now, we gotta do the scuff sanding, so check this out. Scuff sand these ones. This was the drawer that had the, I mean, you could still see where we put the glue, but once we put some primer, paint, you won't even be able to tell. Same thing with that piece over there in the corner. We fixed that, and then we're gonna start working on this dresser. We're gonna scuff sand it, then knock out those two bad boys and get it done.
Here was a perfect time to start sanding the top of the big dresser. That way we could start getting it ready for paint, and that's what I'm doing here.
There's a little like divot in the wood here that I want to fill in with Bondo. It's like right here. I don't know. It's hard to see, but it kind of like, the camera angle, it kind of goes down. You see that? Goes down right there. So we're just going to use some Bondo. Put it in here, mix it, get it done.
Okay, so if you've ever worked with Bondo, it's super stinky. So that's why I always wear a mask. I put a little bit of the hardener in the actual Bondo. You don't need too much. You mix it around. You got to kind of get going because it starts to get hard really fast. So I spread it all these little spots where I showed you earlier. Just try to get all the dings and imperfections. Just do your best you can because you're going to go back and sand it down anyway.
Of course, you have to scuff sand the entire piece. So here, I'm just scuff sanding the side of the dresser as well. Just scuff sanding the front as well. And more sanding. We just scuff sand the front drawers here just to prepare it for paint. Now while we wait for the Bondo to dry on the big dresser, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for these small ones, scuff sand them, get them ready to go. And once again, you guessed it, more sanding. Here we're just sanding the tops, sides, every single crack and crevice. I'll go back with my mouse sander and get in between all the little cracks. Here I'm just doing the same exact thing to the other nightstand. Tedious, but it's all worth it in the end. We have to fix some damage. We fixed the damage on the top with the Bondo. Now we got to fix some of the damage for the drawers here. There's like just a little spot damage. We'll look at all the drawers, before of course we paint, and we'll make sure to put some plastic wood X on them. Right here, this is what I'm fixing right now. Dab that right there. Just lay this on as best as you can. I just kind of got those little areas where I can see the physical dings. So actually with the base, we're gonna do a tan wash. So a tan wash, again, is 12 parts water, 1 part paint. Ooh, let's open this paint. There we go. Actually, I should probably mix this paint. You just need a little bit of paint. And we're gonna tan wash the bottom. It's already a pretty color, but I wanna give it that like brownish kind of color. Just a little bit of paint in there, boom. And if you've seen my previous videos, tan washing is super easy. You gotta just work in sections. Here's just the base. You add it on, then wipe off. Yes, I have dust on my butt because I'm sitting on the floor. Just noticed that. So no worries there. I'm doing the same exact thing right here as well and did the same exact thing to the nightstands. Super easy, super simple, elevates the look and makes it look extremely nice. Now we're gonna take off the bases. So that way no paint gets on the base that we just paint washed. Make sure it looks nice and beautiful. This stuff always takes a long. It's just kind of prepping for paint, but it always makes everything look so good in the end here. And just laying down the tape and the paper is the best way I like to do it. Kind of just keep it simple, it's cheap, and fast. All right, now we're gonna do the same this side. Again, you just repeat the same process here on the sides. I lay down a piece of tape first and then I put my brown paper. You don't have to be perfect here. Just make sure that line's straight, at the top where it meets with the dresser. That way no paint seeps in. Same exact thing here on the nightstands. These were pretty fun to do. So we kind of knocked those out pretty fast, line that up, and then, put the brown paper as well. This blue tape, I just had extra of it. So you can use the blue tape, frog tape, green tape, whatever tape you want to use. It all works the same. So that's exactly what I did here and just taped off those edges. I use this tape and brown paper method. Guys, now that we have all the bases taped off, we're now gonna do the drawer sides and fill these little holes with like a little bit of tape. That way it doesn't get stuck. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, preparing for paint and prepping here, your furniture is the most tedious, but again, it's totally worth it in the end. And you don't wanna have too much of that overspray on there. So that's what I'm doing here and just kind of getting every drawer front. So now we're gonna go with the Zinsser 123 Bullseye Primer. Let's freaking get it. And boom, this is when you feel like things are starting to come together. I sometimes do this can primer. It's pretty fast, no, cleanup afterwards. I also, get the traditional, primer you put in your sprayer and do it that way as well. Whatever I feel like doing, if I want to do something quick, I'll just do this can. It doesn't get as much coverage or I have to use more of it. And it's kind of expensive, so I don't know. Sometimes I'll just, use both. Same exact thing I did here, just cover everything in primer. That way it has a base coat there for us. Okay guys, so now onto my most favorite part. We get to paint the dresser and the nightstands. So we're gonna paint them again, Navajo white, and then we're gonna do this hardware over here. Let me show you. This like brushed gold hardware. So it should look really nice with that. Obviously this is just the primer, but we're gonna do the paint and then we're gonna do the hardware. It should look really nice. Let's go. Okay, so this first coat of paint is just kind of getting coverage all over the piece. I like to be, as best as I can, get the most coverage I can on the first layer here, because we're gonna go over, we're gonna sand in between coats, things like that, the normal things you do whenever you're spraying furniture. So that's what I'm doing here, just trying to get every crack and crevice. The tops, my sprayer, I have to like take little breaks, that's why I spray on the side there, because I don't know if it gets clogged or something happens with it, but we're getting there to better sprayers eventually. And same thing here. You can see the coverage there on the sides, get the fronts here of the small nightstands, and just kind of get a whole coverage here because I'm gonna do another coat of the entire piece as well. Just let this dry. And get the backs, don't forget that as well, because that's very important to cover every single spot. You also wanna make sure you get the tops here and just kind of cover them as best as you can. Just do your very best. That's all, you can really ask for. Let's go.
All right, guys, so now we get to do our clear coat. This is like my go-to clear coat. I always do it in the satin color, the polyurethane. Dressers are all drying right now. The top's drying. The paint is looking amazing. Look at that. Those bad boys are looking awesome. Let's go ahead and put our clear coat on.
Now it's time for that clear coat, baby. Let's get it. As you can tell, I'm super excited to put on this clear coat. Putting on the clear coat is the same exact thing when you're painting, just making sure you're kind of 50% going over the previous stroke you just did. And my clear coat spray is really nice. It's a lot, it covers a lot in one kind of spray. So I love putting this on. I do this at least 3 times for durability for all my pieces. So I love putting this stuff on. I let it dry in between coats, sand in between coats to get a smooth finish.
Clear coat complete. Now we get to reveal these beautiful bases that we made.
And boom, are you ready for this? Look at these bases. Look at that with the Navajo white. It just looks absolutely stunning. That's exactly the look I was going for with the tan wash on there. We do the same exact thing for the nightstands. See what I mean? When you prep things properly, it comes out extremely nice and you're happy with the end result there. All right, guys, now this has to be one of my favorite parts of the entire process is actually putting on the hardware. So guys, unfortunately, we cannot put the handles on quite yet because we ordered the wrong size. These are 4 inches. It's 3 3/4. So we're off by 1/4. So yeah, we'll just wait for the new ones to come in and then we'll finish this dresser up. Let's go. You guys, look what the freak came in. We finally got the correct handles, I think, hopefully, that go with this dresser. Yeah, those should be spot on. Perfect. So yes, guys, you will have setbacks. I ordered the wrong size handles, but we got the new ones in, and that's what we're doing now. Oh my gosh, guys. I know it doesn't do it justice right now because it's a little dark, and again, my lighting isn't fixed yet in my garage, but this looks absolutely amazing. These little screws, they're too long, so I need to trim off just the top right here. And the only way, fastest way I guess, is doing it this way. Let me know if anybody has a faster way, but this kind of hurts. All right, guys, so we're just keep repeating the same process. We almost got it done. We got the nightstands done, but we just got to keep putting these handles on this one, and we're almost there. Let's get it. The end here could be the most tedious again, just putting on handles, make sure they're level, make sure everything looks extremely nice because the details really do matter. So that's what we're doing here, and just kind of taking our time, making sure everything looks straight and super amazing as we get it done here with this time lapse. It looks awesome. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this is real. Look what we turned these into. And so if you made it this far in the video, here's the listing photos. They came out absolutely amazing. The oak finish here is just stunning. It doesn't even do it justice here in the photos. The customer absolutely loved them. And thanks so much, guys, and subscribe. Let's go.